Are the Dallas Cowboys about to go all in with one of the wildest off seasons we've seen? Trade rumors are heating up around names like Jonathan Greenard, Jordyn Brooks, and Maxx Crosby. But that's not even the craziest part. Some believe Dallas is just exploring options and doing due diligence, while others think this signals a major shift toward an aggressive, win-now strategy. And then there's the draft twist. Could the Cowboys actually trade up to grab Jeremiyah Love?
If that happens, it could reshape their entire offensive future. So what's real? What's smoke? And which move could actually happen? Because one of these rumors might be closer to reality than anyone expects.
The Dallas Cowboys are right back in the spotlight, and this time the rumors are getting louder, more aggressive, and honestly, a little bit shocking. Because what we're hearing right now could completely reshape this roster heading into the next season. We're talking about potential trades, big defensive upgrades, and even a bold move up the draft board that could define the future of this franchise. If you're a Cowboys fan, this is the kind of news that gets your heart racing.
Let's start with the defensive side of the ball, because that's where things are heating up fast. One name that keeps popping up is Jonathan Greenard. Now, this is interesting because Greenard has quietly developed into one of the more disruptive edge players in the league. He's not always in the headlines, but when you watch the tape, the production is there. Pressure, effort, consistency, all the things Dallas values in a pass rusher.
The Cowboys have always prioritized getting after the quarterback, and pairing another explosive presence alongside Micah Parsons could be exactly what this defense needs to go from great to terrifying.
And here's the thing, this isn't just random speculation. There are real reasons why Dallas would look at a player like Greenard. Depth on the edge has been a question at times, and injuries can quickly expose that. If the Cowboys want to make a deep playoff run, they need waves of pass rushers, not just stars. Greenard gives them that rotational dominance that championship defenses rely on.
But he's not the only name being discussed. Another player generating buzz is Jordyn Brooks. This one is fascinating because Brooks brings something slightly different to the table. He's fast, physical, and plays sideline to sideline with serious intensity. The Cowboys' defense has speed, but adding a linebacker who can read plays quickly and deliver impact hits could elevate the entire unit.
Think about it for a second. When you face elite offenses in today's NFL, especially in the playoffs, you need linebackers who can cover, tackle in space, and still be aggressive against the run. Brooks checks those boxes. If Dallas is serious about fixing any lingering issues in run defense or short area coverage, this is exactly the kind of move they'd explore.
Now let's talk about the name that has fans really buzzing, Maxx Crosby. This is where things go from interesting to potentially franchise-altering. Crosby isn't just a good player, he's a game wrecker, one of the most relentless pass rushers in the entire league. His motor never stops, his production is elite, and he brings an edge, a mentality that can change the identity of a defense overnight.
If the Cowboys were somehow able to pull off a trade for Crosby, we're not just talking about an upgrade. We're talking about creating one of the most dangerous defensive fronts in football. Imagine offenses trying to deal with Micah Parsons on one side and Maxx Crosby on the other. That's the kind of nightmare matchup that forces quarterbacks into mistakes, changes game plans, and wins you big games in January.
But let's be real for a moment. A move like that wouldn't come cheap. The Cowboys would have to give up serious assets, draft picks, maybe even key players. This is the kind of trade that requires bold decision-making from the front office. And that's the big question. Are they willing to go all in?
Because that's what this offseason is starting to feel like. Dallas knows the pressure is there. The expectations are massive, and standing still is not an option anymore.
Now shifting gears to the offensive side of things, there's another rumor that's starting to pick up serious momentum, and it involves a potential move up in the draft to target Jeremiyah Love. This is where things get really intriguing. Love is one of those players who brings explosiveness the moment he touches the ball. Speed, vision, big playability, the kind of traits that can instantly energize an offense. And if the Cowboys are looking to add a dynamic weapon to take pressure off Dak Prescott, this could be the move.
Because let's face it, the modern NFL is all about versatility and explosiveness. You need players who can turn a simple play into a touchdown. Love fits that mold perfectly. And if Dallas believes he's their guy, moving up in the draft might be a risk they're willing to take.
But again, it comes down to cost. Trading up means giving up valuable picks. It means betting big on one player. And for a team with multiple needs, that's a decision that has to be made carefully.
Still, there's a clear theme emerging here. Aggression, urgency, a willingness to make bold moves. Whether it's targeting proven defensive talent like Greenard, Brooks, or Crosby, or making a splash in the draft for a player like Love, the Cowboys are being linked to moves that signal one thing: they're not satisfied.
And they shouldn't be.
This is a team that has talent, a team that has been close, but close isn't good enough anymore. Fans want results. They want playoff success. They want a team that can compete with the very best and actually win when it matters most. And that's why these rumors matter.
Because each of these potential moves addresses something important: pass rush depth, linebacker speed, defensive dominance, offensive explosiveness. These aren't random names. They're targeted fits that could elevate the Cowboys in very specific ways.
But here's the reality. Not all of these moves will happen. Maybe one does, maybe two, or maybe none at all. That's the nature of the offseason. Rumors, negotiations, possibilities. But where there's smoke, there's often at least some level of interest. And right now, there's a lot of smoke around Dallas. So the question becomes, what kind of team do they want to be? Do they play it safe, trust their current roster, and hope internal development is enough? Or do they take a swing? Do they make the kind of moves that send a message to the rest of the league?
Because make no mistake, a trade for someone like Maxx Crosby would send shockwaves across the NFL. Moving up in the draft for Jeremiyah Love would signal a clear commitment to offensive evolution. Adding players like Jonathan Greenard or Jordyn Brooks would show a focus on building a complete, balanced defense.
These are identity-defining decisions. And for the Cowboys, this offseason might be one of the most important in recent memory.
You can feel it building. The anticipation, the speculation, the excitement. Something is coming. We just don't know exactly what it is yet.
But one thing is certain. The Cowboys are in the middle of it all. So stay locked in, because as soon as something breaks, you know we're going to be here covering every detail, every trade, every move, and every reaction.
Because if even one of these rumors turns into reality, this team could look very different very soon.